what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's talk a little LSU defensive line because there's a couple of names that seems to be making waves here early on, and that is Dominic McKinley and Gabriel Relaford. Now, Relaford, more of the speedster, going to be an edge guy. Of course, he enrolled early. We saw him during spring, had a very good spring game, right? Which, remember, one of the takeaways when it comes to spring football is I don't want to put too much into the film, but in like one-on-one situations, if you're winning those, that is something you can take home. So watching him beat tackles one-on-one was a very good sign for maybe he'll be ready to contribute in some rotational form immediately this fall. In fact, apparently Gabriel Relaford at, what is he, 6'3", like 285, I think?
255, 260.
Okay. So maybe I gave him a few extra pounds there. Hit 21 miles an hour here recently and was given the award of Freak of the Week from the LSU strength staff. So, look, I think Relaford has a role, but he's also at a position group at edge where you are just fine there, I think. Like, you have a lot of options. You still have Womack, Swinson, Shand. Like, that's a good rotation. The name that you really have to hope works out would be Dominic McKinley. And even though he was not an early enrollee, the early returns are pretty fantastic. McKinley showed up listed at what, like 6'6", 295? He is now being listed at 6'6", 316. And not fat weight, but muscle weight being thrown on there. Obviously, I'm not saying that happened in the month that he's been here. He was obviously doing the correct things, even though he wasn't an early enrollee, in terms of bulking up and getting ready for a summer college strength program through his second semester of high school. But the thing about McKinley is he will have immediate opportunity. Again, Relaford I see as a rotational piece in a very good group. McKinley could damn well be the starter, potentially. I mean, we know Jacoby and Guillory will be. And then after that, who's going to be paired up with him? Is it Paez, the Wisconsin transfer? Is it Javier Suggs, the Grand Valley State transfer? Or is it Gabriel Relaford? And, of course, you got Kimo Makianole in there as well. McKinley. But McKinley would feel like he has a golden opportunity to go and take a starting job the same way that Mason Smith did. Now, unfortunately, we only got to see a couple plays of Mason Smith at freshman year. No, that's not true. No, freshman year he was very good. He actually put up good numbers. Here's hoping that McKinley can be ready to go by fall as well. Again, it's not ideal to have a freshman starting on the interior of your defensive line, but some of that inexperience to be offset by a very experienced linebacking core and a very experienced partner on the interior in Jacoby and Guillory. And if you're going to have to start a true freshman, a 5-star who is the number one player in the state, who is 6'6", 316, like, that's a guy I'm down for him to get some seasoning on him. And unless the USC offensive line has gotten back to where it was 2 years ago, like, that's what a lot of people don't know about USC is the reason why they were so good 2 years ago. One of the main reasons is they had a very good O-line. I'll never forget watching USC under Lincoln Riley 2 years ago, and the first series I watched was when they were on defense, and I was like, this is shockingly bad in just their size of the front seven. Like, this looks like junior high. And I expected when we flipped sides of the ball that it would be the same, and I was blown away because I was like, oh, wait, no, this offensive line is awesome. And they were all upperclassmen. They all had a ton of starts. And if you wonder why Caleb Williams took such a significant step back this last season, well, look no further than an offensive line that it took a significant step back. Now, I don't know that I believe that it's going to be much better this year for USC. So McKinley, if he plays immediately, could be set up to maybe make an immediate impact game one on the biggest stage in the country in Las Vegas. Only time will tell. But as I said, the early returns on these guys, McKinley and Relaford, is that they're working hard, kicking ass, and acquitting themselves well. And it's not to say that you can say, oh, well, T-Bob, nobody's going to come out and just say, oh, they suck. Well, that's true. But you also want to come out and praise them. right? Like the people are going out of the way. The strength staff went out of their way to give Relaford Freak of the Week, gone out of their way to brag on McKinley and the work ethic that he has shown and the bulk that he has added in the weight room. So I think you can take that as a bit of a boon and let it pump maybe a little optimism into you. So shout out to very young cats who are going to look to make an impact this fall. Shout out Jelani Watkins. We mentioned the LSU offensive line. Yeah. The 5'10", 160-pound lineman, Jelani Watkins. We mentioned that LSU wide receiver group having maybe a bit more speed than we thought. Well, he's a freshman right now, just got to the team about a month ago, but he just won Gatorade Player of the Year for track. Taylor, you know track better than me. Explain to me what Jelani Watkins did here.
Well, he ran a 10.19 in the 100-meter, which is blazing fast. He was also on the 4x1 relay, which I believe they broke a 26-year state record in Texas.
Wow.
And if you know anything about Texas, probably the best track in the entire country. He's the guy when he committed, undersized, but a lot of people were like, hey, sleeper of the class, like very well could be Jelani Watkins.
Well, because you know what plays? Speed. Like no matter what, right? What's the old cliche? You can't teach speed. Like, yeah, you can't teach 10.19. If you can catch the ball, I don't care if you're 5'6". Look at Trenton Hodde. I can find a role for you somewhere on this team.
Skylar Green was, 5'9"? And
Yeah.
I mean, he was an everyday starting receiver.
Yeah. Now, Skylar had a little muscle to him, though. Like, Skylar was pretty dense.
He was a lot like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Little muscle hamster type. But yeah, shout out to Jelani Watkins, man. Gatorade Player of the Year, which is always just an incredible accomplishment no matter when you do it. And if you're getting in track, you are fast. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.